Now they got Bazemore out there. Two defenders, wing defenders. Bielitsa the pump fake. Outside Wiggins, three, bullseye! Another three for the Lakers, who put up 42 tonight, 39 threes by the Warriors.
Well, we all knew the Lakers were not going to look great straight out the gate. This is literally a roster that is only bringing back 3 players from the previous season. I'm literally not joking. The only players left over from last season is LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Taylor Horton-Tucker. And with the Lakers losing opening night to the Golden State Warriors, who didn't even have Klay Thompson, on a day where Steph Curry went 5 for 20, it obviously is going to bring us some questions, but I'm not here to overreact and say the Lakers aren't going to make the finals or that they won't even be good. But in today's video, I'll be discussing 4 problems that I think the Los Angeles Lakers need to address if they want to be good. But before we get into the video, I just want to say I'm preaching basketball. I post videos like nearly every single day. If you could subscribe to my channel, I'll really be appreciated. I'm trying to hit my goal of 2,000 subscribers. Also drop a comment if you agree with what I said in this video, and play that intro. But quickly before we get into the video, I gotta show you this really quickly. This is the new Diversion water bottle. It's basically a water bottle where you can put stuff like your keys, wallet, and other kind of small items like in your water bottle that will make you lose it way less. And it will also just help you to not have your pockets full and things like that. Click the link in my bio if you're interested, and into the video. The first problem I have to discuss with this team is Russell Westbrook, who is basically a problem on his own, because never in his life has there been a situation where Russell Westbrook was not the guy with the ball in his hands most of the time. And I know you might bring up his time with the Houston Rockets, but nonetheless, I'd say he had like a similar amount of time with the ball in his hands as James Harden. But on the Lakers team now has LeBron James, who is also one of the most ball-dominant players in NBA history. He's definitely not on Russell Westbrook's level of ball dominance, but he's definitely ball-dominant. It's definitely going to take some time to get used to it. Because if you think about it, Russ is simply not a good off-ball player at all, simply because he's never been asked to do it. And LeBron can play off-ball, but you would rather the ball being in LeBron James's hands rather than Russell Westbrook's. So it's kind of a hard fix. Also, you have to realize that Russell Westbrook is not a floor spacer at all. For over the last few years, he barely shoots over 30%, and most seasons he actually shoots below 30%, which is absolutely terrible. And all LeBron-led teams have always had a bunch of shooters surrounding him, and he's never played with a point guard who can't shoot at even like a decent level. But now with Russell Westbrook, he's going to be playing with one of the worst volume 3-point shooters in NBA history. So we know the problem with Russell Westbrook is his shooting, his floor spacing, as well as Westbrook just being a very ball-dominant player. And if I were to answer those questions, when it comes to Russell Westbrook being ball-dominant, I think the best way to hide that kind of problem is to stagger LeBron and Westbrook's minutes. What I mean by that is just try to get Russell Westbrook playing with the bench a lot, and just try to get him like playing minutes that like LeBron's not on the court, if you know what I mean. Just trying to don't make them play together as much as you can. I understand in the closing minutes they're gonna have to play together since they're the team's best players, but basketball is a 48-minute game, not a 5-minute game. So for most of the game you can have them off the court together. I feel like it would just make this team way better. When it comes to the problem of Russell Westbrook's lack of floor spacing, I actually think this is a Lakers team that has good enough floor spacers. The only problem I would say is that when Russell Westbrook is on the court, there needs to be 4 guys who can shoot at all times with him. I don't think Westbrook should be playing too much minutes alongside Dwight Howard or DeAndre Ayton. Obviously, he's probably going to play like a few minutes with those type of guys, but the reason I don't think he should play with them is because those guys cannot shoot to save their life. They have absolutely no floor spacing. I think he should play a lot of his minutes with Anthony Davis, because Davis can space the floor, and I feel like they could run a very good pick and roll and just play really well off each other. But if you want to limit the negative impact of what Russ is shooting and his ball dominance does, I think if you stagger their minutes and just play Russ with a bunch of shooters, I think it will really diminish that problem. The second problem I think the Lakers need to fix is kind of an obvious one, but it is their chemistry. When you just look at this team, you could tell they're clearly missing a lot of chemistry, and that is to be expected because, as I said, there's only 3 players from last year on this team. But as time goes on, I expect the chemistry on this team to just get way better. I honestly don't know why people are overreacting so much to them losing to the Warriors, because simply this team is not like perfectly fit amazingly. I think we all knew that, and I think it would be kind of like naive to think that this team was just going to come out and start dominating teams and like that. I actually thought they were going to lose to the Warriors going into the game, but to be honest, I'm not really worried that much about like Anthony Davis chemistry, because he's just a big man who catches lobs and posts up and things like that. When it comes to LeBron and Westbrook, they definitely need to improve their chemistry if the Lakers want to go far this year. When I was watching the Lakers game, it kind of just looked weird, because like when LeBron didn't have the ball, he was just standing there. When Russ didn't have the ball, he was just standing there. There was no off-ball movement really or anything like that. As time goes on, I think stuff will like that will get better, and I expect around like the 40 to 50th game, that's when this team will be at its best chemistry. You just have to remember that the chemistry probably is not going to get worse than it is right now unless there's like some type of argument, but I just don't think that's going to happen since LeBron, Russ, AD are all friends and stuff. But yeah, it can't get worse than this, just remember that. The third and final problem I want to talk about with this team, the Lakers of course, is their rotation, because the Lakers are definitely one of the more talented teams in the NBA. No one would think they could win the championship if they weren't so. But when you're a team that is as talented as the Lakers, you're going to struggle to find a rotation, since you're not going to be able to play all 15 guys on a consistent basis. And most times during the regular season, your rotation is at max going to be like 10 players. And this is a Laker team that I genuinely think has like 12 players who should at least be getting some type of minutes, meaning some players are going to be kicked out of the rotation. The only guys who I know for sure will be consistently playing unless they like fall off terribly is LeBron, Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook, of course, but I also think Kendrick Nunn will for sure be playing, and probably Dwight Howard. But outside of those guys, I can honestly see anyone else on this roster falling out of the rotation and not playing, and that brings up a lot of questions, because I can see Rajon Rondo not playing because he's simply not playing good enough, because he is kind of old. I can see DeAndre Jordan not playing good enough because he's not like good enough. We literally saw him do that with the Brooklyn Nets last season. I can see Kevin Bazemore not playing because he's not hitting his shots. He's kind of inconsistent. I can see Wayne Ellington not playing because he's not a good defender. I can see Avery Bradley not playing because he's not hitting his shots. I can see Trevor Ariza not playing because he's not that amazing on defense like he was before, and he's not hitting his shots. I can see Taylor Horton Tucker not playing because he has no 3-point shot available, like 0 at all. And Carmelo Anthony is one of the worst defenders in the league, so I definitely can see him not playing. Just a lot of questions that this roster is going to need to address. Obviously, they're going to have like an 8 to 10 man rotation in the regular season, and it's just a matter of finding who those 8 to 10 guys are. In my opinion, I think the rotation will be LeBron, AD, Westbrook, of course, along with Kendrick Nunn, Dwight Howard, Ken Bazemore, Wayne Ellington, Taylor Horton Tucker, Rajon Rondo, and Malik Monk. If I had to guess who's like cut out, I think Avery Bradley, DeAndre Jordan, and Carmelo Anthony will get like the least minutes, because Carmelo's just not good on defense, bro. We even saw in that Warriors game, he was kind of like a negative. Maybe you disagree with what I'm saying. Maybe you agree. Maybe you think Carmelo's going to be getting better minutes. Maybe you think Avery Bradley's going to get lots of minutes. But nonetheless, the Lakers need a firm and solid rotation that works, because when you have a team with like 12, 13 players who you could argue should be getting minutes, it's kind of hard to decipher it. But to conclude the video, I'm honestly not really worried about the Lakers that much. I think they're going to be perfectly fine. I still think they're my title favorites. Of course, there's plenty of questions with this team, but there's questions with every team. I just think the Lakers will persevere. I think they'll play like way better, like in the midway part of the season. Then we'll just see this team have way better chemistry, things like that. Literally no LeBron James led team has gotten off to an amazing start when they were first built. Not in Miami, not in Cleveland, and not like in the Lakers in 2019. I don't think this is going to be any different. I think as time goes on, we'll see how good this team truly can be. Anyways, guys, that's it for the video. Let me know how far you think the Lakers are going to go this season. Drop a like on this video if you agree with what I'm saying. Also, subscribe to my channel. I post like pretty decently. Also, to help me reach my goal of 2,000 subscribers. Also, drop a comment on this video because I do respond to all of my comments. And I'm out.